Healthy Rebel Radio is sponsored by the Healthy Rebel app. 300 plus secretly healthy, delicious, mouth-watering dessert and treat recipes made with all-natural, whole food ingredients. Now available for download on the App Store and Google Play. Find out more details at healthyrebel.com.
Welcome to Healthy Rebel Radio. I'm your host, Dr. David Deiser. I'm here with my Dami Health Healthy Rebel co-founder, Amy Layne. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just a few quick health and wellness stories to review today. We've got an omega-3 story to start with, and I'm really thrilled about this one because it's coming from the American Journal of Psychiatry, and really the omega-3 research in the last couple of years has taken off since the one big negative review from some governing body in the U.S. Since then, it's been all positive, and this is another good one. It was a study looking at smaller study, and they're demanding larger studies, which is going to be great. A small study looking at antidepressants and combinations with vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients. And what they found was mood scores were much improved in those people who were taking antidepressants who were also taking omega-3s. So they found a synergistic effect, and people's moods were much better when they were doing that. And they found some other correlations with vitamin D and zinc, and that was all good. But the most significant thing was with omega-3s. And this really speaks to the effectiveness of omega-3s for many things. We've known that it's been supportive of brain function for a long time, but there's been such a problem with the standard North American diet that just people's omega-3s in general have gone down in relationship with omega-6s. So these benefits are much easier to see when we do these studies, which is good, but we need to change the diet to actually see the full benefit.
So why was the study you mentioned initially that had a negative outcome, why did that happen?
Well, basically what happened was it was a large study looking at thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. For reducing the risk of cardiovascular disease, because that's originally what omega-3s were thought to be the most beneficial for. Okay. And they found that people who took omega-3s had no decreased risk of cardiovascular disease. And this was over years of a study and hundreds of thousands of people. And then if you look in the study, the highest dose that anyone in the study had taken was 1 gram a day. Of combined EPA and DHA. And we know that for cardiovascular risk prevention, 1 gram a day is not going to do anything. So if you look at studies where people are taking more omega-3s, you see benefit.
So it's like doing a wide study on does apples in your daily diet help you live a better life? And then when you actually go, and then they say no, and when you actually go into the study, they're feeding these people a teaspoon of apple a day.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like, well, apples do nothing. And then it was all over the news. Omega-3s are worthless. Because you're wasting your money.
Right, but you have to understand because they and the drug companies have the money.
Right.
And it would be of the best interest of drug companies for individuals not to find natural remedies or just natural lifestyle adjustments. It's in their best interest. Mm-hmm. They want you to have symptoms. They want to cover them up. They want to give you drugs, and then they want to give you more drugs to cover up the symptoms that are caused by that drug. I mean, I wish people could really understand that, when a negative thing happens, or a perceived negative opinion of something natural happens, you have to be intelligent and look at the information.
Oh, and you're the absolute best at that. I mean, not that you're overly critical, it's just you always have a sense of, okay, what's behind the scenes here?
But that's on all sides. Because I don't want to ever come off that I'm defensive, quote unquote, defensive of natural remedies, because we're not those people. No. We believe in doing everything you can in the most natural way possible and living your best lifestyle. But we also are super grateful for the drugs that are out there that help us live. Mm-hmm. We wouldn't be here today if the antibiotics weren't a thing. And we've talked about this many times. And that's the, a caveat that you have to be really careful of who you're listening to. Sometimes people can be so passionate about natural remedies that they kind of shut down the reality of allopathic medicine is here to help us live. Mm-hmm. And that's the line that we walk. We walk the line of doing things in the most natural, healthy way possible. And then when it in life, when you need certain things that are allopathic, like antibiotics, like, certain drugs that, thank God they're there, which, by the way, most are derived from natural things. We've just perversed the terms because of abuse. We just don't believe in abuse of anything.
Exactly.
Anything. That means also abuse of natural remedies. Like, David and I take a few things, but we're not the type of people that are, on a vitamin regimen that's, as long as our arm. We don't believe in that either. We don't believe we don't believe in being a slave to natural remedies or allopathic remedies. We believe in living a healthy, freedom-filled lifestyle. And being vibrant and healthy and doing it.
Well, and that's the thing, and that's where I want to take this story, is back to overall wellness, back to nutrition. Because what we do in antidepressant therapy, when someone comes to see me, usually we replenish things that we know are depleted, like some B vitamins can be depleted when you're taking antidepressants, but we also use things that make them work better. And we know from this study, the other two things that were mentioned, vitamin D and zinc, but also SAMe was mentioned in the research to show that it makes antidepressants better. Now we know that omega-3s are even better than those ones that we're already using, vitamin D, SAMe, zinc. So what you do then, when you see a naturopath, is you add in this omega-3s at the proper dose, and then you go through your therapy. When you're ready to come off of antidepressants, if that's what you choose to do, then you're already set up for success, right? You already have these things that may have been depleted. You have these things that have made your mood better anyhow.
And these are also when we talk about things about coming off things like antidepressant, we're not talking about people that have severe mental illnesses, that antidepressants are the lifeblood of what gives them the possibility of living a normal life. We're talking about the masses that have been overprescribed antidepressants for things that they do not need to be on them for, but you still have to be very careful when coming off of them.
Oh, yeah, and you can see here I'm carving out a methodology of not quitting cold turkey. Very slow.
But I feel a responsibility, especially things that are going on right now in the news and different things that we'll touch on in a couple months when the law has its due process. I feel that as a society, we get very black and white. And I never want you and I to come across as the type of people that are ignoring facts and science, and and if you actually listen to the words we say, you'd understand that. But people take snippets and run. And if I can I just give an example of what happened to me yesterday?
Please, yeah.
So yesterday I was resharing an episode that we did about mean vegans.
Okay.
And I was talking about, and I've done this a couple times on the show, I myself am a vegan. I don't consume animal products, I don't purchase animal products, and I heavily promote and cast my vote towards things that are cruelty-free. And that's who I am and how I identify. Now, some people are shocked when they hear that. They say, well, I know that you only promote plant-based foods, and I didn't notice, but I guess I didn't realize that you're a vegan. And it's because I don't believe in banging down the door. And if you want to hear more about that, check out our episode called My Experience with Mean Vegans, and also My Vegan Pregnancy. And I talk about my experience in life and the difference between preaching and living as an example. And my choice in life is to live as an example. So yesterday I was resharing the article because I didn't feel that a lot of people had heard or seen it, and I'm passionate about spreading my message of kindness along with being a vegan and living as an example instead of beating people over the head with your book. So this is the statement I made on social media.
Okay.
I
have no idea, by the way, that this happened, so this is interesting for me too.
See, because I'm getting so much better at dealing with... See? I don't even have to talk about it. Okay, so I said, I follow a vegan diet. I have for years. I don't talk about it as much as others on social media, and I try my best to avoid preaching. I work with thousands of women from all over the world. Some are vegan, some are raw vegan, some are vegetarian, and some are meat eaters, and everything in between that fall under a million different titles. There's a reason why I don't tell others what their journey should look like at any given time, and that I choose to work with everybody. Listen to hear why I believe that being a vegan is at its foundation about being kind. And then I just put the link.
Yeah.
So it's a lead-in.
Yes.
Okay? It's not.
I love it. Really well written.
Right, but it's also not definitive. There leaves questions, which you do when you want people to listen to. Like, I can't, type out everything in, like, a little tiny post of my whole belief system. So, as life happens.
What happened here? The suspense is killing me.
Okay, so, first comment. Vegan is not a diet. Because I said that I follow a vegan diet. Vegan is a lifestyle. So no, you are not a vegan. And you only follow a plant-based diet. Because if you were a true vegan, you'd be out here fighting for the animals and telling the world the truth.
Wow. A mean vegan. Shoot.
On the Mean Vegan article. So I kindly wrote back her name and then put, sounds like you didn't listen.
Yeah, to the episode.
And that's why I'm out here. Every day in a gentle way.
Nice.
I just left it as that now. People in my community are like flipping out at her, which I don't like either.
No.
But my point is that this is
the point.
This is what turns people off.
It's what's making it harder.
It's exactly that. It becomes religious, militant, and disgusting. And I don't want to be associated with that. So that's why I separate myself, because that is the most unattractive behavior I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Someone trying to do kind things. I mean, first of all, it makes me laugh because I have since 2008 been promoting plant-based diet. Mm-hmm. I, every single day, contact hundreds of thousands of people with cruelty-free makeup, body products, the way I live, the way I travel. I mean, I'm doing more than the average person. I'm just not saying, hey, meat eaters, you're terrible people. Hey, I'm a vegan. I'm better than you, because that's not true.
No.
And talking like that to anybody, I don't know how you think you're better than anyone. Mm-hmm. No, you just perfected one area of your life, and then you think that you're a better person. But if you're mean to humans, to be kind to animals, to me, you're not a vegan. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want to get down to this idiotic debate of what...
Right, exactly. I mean, you just can't choose who you're mean to and who you're... I mean, it's not fair.
The conversation is mental, and it makes people close off. Who would want to... If this was a person that's new to adding more plant-based diets and reducing their animal consumption, you think that's going to make them want to do it?
Oh, gosh, if I do this, I need to get a picketing sign and I need to stand outside.
It's not only that, it's that they're being mean to you. Why would you want to join a group of people that seem miserable? That human seems miserable.
Yeah, it's true. The best way to make these changes is to just show your love. Like, this is what you do. You show your love for animals, and you show your love for a healthy lifestyle. And you
and everybody. And it will always come back to me that I grew up in a family where my dad was super, super religious. And if my dad was in prayer and we opened the door, he'd yell at us. And I always found it ironic. And I thought,
shoot.
And I'd shut the door and I'd kind of giggle.
Yeah.
Because, like, he took it so seriously.
Right.
How could you interrupt my prayer time? And he's not a mean person.
No.
But this pissed him off.
Oh, yeah.
And to me, like, even as a child, I always found it humorous because I thought, well, this is ironic.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget the one thing that really changed my mind about preaching and about the way you reach people, if you really want people to hear you, is I remember that he came home one day from church, and I'm laughing because I find it funny. He came home from church and he was really, really mad, and he was telling my mom or somebody in the family about that they had to kick this girl out of the choir of church.
Okay.
And she's the best singer I've literally ever heard. Like, she could have been famous, and I was like, why? And he was like, because she was having sex out of marriage. She's not representing the perfect religious ideal. And I will never forget that. It changed everything in my life. It shifted my brain, and I thought, so you're telling me Jesus is out hanging around with prostitutes and telling the world that everybody's equal and we're all sinners, and our purpose is to love each other and respect each other and not to judge in which way each other sins. And you're telling me within your church you're kicking this beautifully talented young woman out because she had sex? Now, I could have gone through, someone else in the choir smokes, someone else in the choir, swears, someone had a divorce, someone, doesn't pay their bills and is in debt. But they were judging the sinning, and it just, it was just so put that into light for me that I, at that moment, was like, I'll never do that. I'll never do that to people.
Right.
And if I believe that I know something and that something could help other people, I'm going to use a platform, but I'm going to love the hell out of them. Mm-hmm. No matter where they're at. And really, I don't judge people. I do not judge people that eat meat. I really don't. Because I did. If I came into this world, Jesus, or whoever, and was this perfect human being, then maybe I could, but you still wouldn't. There's no such thing as any of us being perfect. And the idea that we attack each other for trying to do something good is literally insane behavior. Mm-hmm. So, and this is the third time I'm talking about this, but it's like I can't...
for sure.
And this is the other irony. These vegans are mad at me that I'm not banging down the door about being vegan, but every time I say the word vegan, they attack me. Yeah,
that's odd.
And I would love to go and investigate their life and see how they're just so much better than me that they think they can talk down to me. Mm-hmm. You are the example of what I'm talking about. You're holding us back.
You've brought it back to the show for the third time.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's really important.
It's upsetting me because it's that example of that person that's just trying, and then they may say something wrong, they don't say or do something in the exact rhythm, they're trying to eat plant-based diet, but then they get cheese on their salad, and then someone's going to lose their mind at them, and then they're going to have to shut down their social media account because they're being called a murderer and a whatever.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I can't handle it.
Well, and it's really important to the larger conversation because I was trying to keep today's episode very simple and just talk about how omega-3s are so good for you. And in order to get more omega-3s compared with omega-6s, you just need to eat more plants and less meat.
There you go.
And, this is the conversation we have had, and we've had this multiple times, because when you go into just these very gentle shifts, right? It brings up these major things for people. Major. This is detrimental to my lifestyle to make this shift. And in making this shift, I could have people very mad at me if I claim one thing and do another.
To me, it's like if you walk off the tightrope a little.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't want people feeling like that. This is not a religion. This is not a military thing. This is just trying to be better people at the level of our current consciousness. If you are driven to go completely vegan tomorrow, do it. If you are driven just to add salads to your lunch, do it. If you are driven to just, donate to the SPCA, if you are just driven to eat locally, if you are driven to go organic, whatever your thing is, as long as you can actually take time and be quiet with yourself and you actually feel like you're doing your current best at this moment, that's where you're supposed to be, and that's the level you're supposed to be at. We're all where we are so we can talk to the people right underneath us.
Yes.
That's what I believe. We're all here. We all are being a guiding light to someone that's just a step behind us. So the idea that someone thinks they can scream and yell at someone to grow, which is spiritually, no matter what we're talking about, to yell them into the next level of existence is mental.
It's not going to happen, yeah.
It's detrimental, it's dangerous, and it's actually setting people back. Mm-hmm. So I just want to say definitively, if you are a vegan and you are mean to other people, you are not doing animals any good.
No, I agree.
End of story.
I agree. And here's the example. If you want to feel better in your mind,
if you talk about omega-3s,
I'm going to talk about it. I am going to talk about it again. Here's the example. If you need to feel better,
are you suggesting right now?
Right now, I'm looking at you. If you need to feel better, all you do is this: you eat a plant-based diet. You consume less meat. Your omega-3 to omega-6 ratio will increase, and then you don't tell anyone. or if you do tell anyone, you don't. You're gonna experience some of these things. If you say, "Oh, I've gone vegan because I want to increase my omega-3s. I want to eat more nuts and seeds and less meat because I want to feel happier." Don't be surprised if someone comes at you.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, and we talk about this a lot, that making changes a lot of the time David and I will keep certain things private until we're grounded or rooted in those changes, because people, react from their own egos. Like, what I would assume is maybe that person's not confident in their own way of life. So they feel like if they try to pick out a flaw in me, that can make them feel superior and better. So, I mean, I'm not actually physically mad at this person. I have deep compassion for this person, and I wish them well. But I also am not the type of person that doesn't say anything. No. Because I think that we're all at moments of teaching, and especially if you're going to attack me, I'm going to respond. I'm not going to attack back. I'm going to respond, and I'm going to try to educate from my level. And you can take it or leave it. I mean, it is what it is.
Definitely. Exactly. No, it's so true. Take it or leave it. That's right. And if you are on antidepressants and you're listening to this episode and you want to make things better or eventually work to come off them, the only thing you need to know is go to this link that we're sharing on the blog here from the American Journal of Psychiatry. Look at the results, print it out, take it to your GP, take it to your naturopath, so they can go through the things: omega-3, SAMe, vitamin D, and zinc, and get the proper dosing. Mm-hmm. And once you get the proper dosing, then you can actually make some strides to go above and beyond the benefit you're experiencing from the antidepressant.
Right.
One final thing, we know antidepressants in the major trials have a significant placebo effect 30% of the time. So most of the feeling good, 1/3 of the feeling good is placebo.
Except for, and I want to caveat people that have
I'm into it.
Real serious mental illnesses that, that antidepressants can be a lifeblood for them to live a stable, normal life.
For sure.
So we're not suggesting that that everybody is able to come off them.
No, definitely. I completely agree.
I just think that we should carefully say that. I've had people in my life with bipolar that have gotten really high and wanted to come off antidepressants, and then terrible things have happened. Mm-hmm. So I always want to be careful that we're talking about certain circumstances.
Yes, no, and I completely agree.
And you have to talk to your people, your healthcare professionals.
This number just really stands out for me, and I think it's incredibly important about the largest trials, having a significant placebo effect with antidepressants. And there's nothing wrong with the placebo effect as long as they're not causing you harm.
Right.
That's fine. As long as you're getting benefit, the benefit is outweighing the harm. I'm good with it. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, check out the link. It's got some good stuff in it. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for your...
Sorry, I spiced up your omega-3.
No, I like it. I like it because it makes the omega-3 conversation even more important. Even more important. But you get a good omega-3 ratio. The best way for omega-3s to be increased, other than reducing your meat consumption and then not worrying about mean vegans and staying away from them.
And I'm not saying that. Love mean vegans. Love them. They need it.
Is flax, hemp seeds, nuts and seeds, and then fish.
There you have it.
But fish with 0 mercury, which is another conversation.
Oh, I can't.
That's Healthy Rebel Radio for today. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.
See you.
Healthy Rebel Radio is presented by the online health and wellness center, DamiHealth.com. Since 2009, Amy Layne has successfully coached thousands of women through her signature program, the Bikini Body Program. Join today to work exclusively with Amy to unveil your greatest yet to be from the inside out. Go to DamiHealth.com for more information.
Thank you for listening to Healthy Rebel Radio. Please connect with us on our community pages on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at the handle @DamiHealth. For weekly recipes, articles, and all our episodes straight to your inbox, join our newsletter at damihealth.com. You can find all the links discussed in today's episode in the show notes. Thank you for joining us, and see you tomorrow.